So Graham, you've said that you can make a contribution to a change of global economy. I would like to know in which direction you want the global economy to be changed.
Yes, thank you, Marco. So I think that this has huge potential to transform the global economy. My background is physics, and in physics it's really clear the properties of the whole come from the way the smallest entities interact with each other. In other words, the properties of the global economy come from the way that the smallest entities in the economy interact with each other. And those entities are primarily the investors that own the companies and the companies themselves. So by changing the way that investors and companies interact with each other, we will change the global economy. By changing the company from something that is owned completely by the investor to something that is not owned, is freed, will have the same quality of change to the global economy that the abolition of slavery had to the global economy, by all of a sudden making a huge number more people active players in the economy. The big thing it shifts is that once companies are no longer owned by a single relatively homogeneous stakeholder group, it is far, far more likely that the decisions that companies take over the long term will be decisions that are equitably balanced across the needs of all of the different stakeholder groups, not just those of the investors. Paradoxically, what we believe is that that will actually increase the return on investment to investors, because it will make each company far more stable. It will make the longevity of the company more reliable. It will make the relationship between companies on the one hand, the customers, the suppliers, the staff, all of the other stakeholders, far more resilient to change. And in that way, there will be far less benefit, probably no benefit at all, from the current practice of buying for just a very short period. In a way, what we're doing here is looking at one of the single most successful investors of the past century, Warren Buffett, and saying, how do we structure the whole way that companies and investors interact to make it easy for every investor to replicate Warren Buffett's success? And the essence of his success is that he buys and holds for the long term. If companies are not sellable, then by definition, the company is held for the long term, regardless of whether the investor stays in or out. And that encourages investors to buy and hold for the long term.